We're going to go ahead and finish that skills builder that you were working on earlier. This is going to be the same document that you completed the translation for the prologue on. So if you don't have that pulled up yet, go ahead and pull that up. And then go to where it says translate Prince Aeschylus's speech. So we're going to focus on his monologue here. And a monologue is when one person is speaking to a group of people. So here Prince Aeschylus has just come upon the scene where these two families are having a brawl, going after each other. Citizens are fighting citizens. Other people outside of the families are joining in. There's violence, craziness. The street is absolute chaos. And Prince Aeschylus is ticked off. He is not pleased. Now, if you haven't done so yet, watch him saying the speech in the movie version, and you'll see his anger and rage come across. Now, we're going to focus on just a short part of his speech. And the first line is 3 civil brawls bred of an airy word. So we already know that there have been 3 riots so far, because it says 3 civil brawls. Now, an airy word, if you scroll down, there's a footnote. So airy means giving an impression of being unconcerned or not serious, typically about something taken seriously by others. So basically, we don't know exactly what it is these two families are feuding about, or the two heads of the families are feuding about, but we know that it's based around some sort of stupid comment one of them or both of them had made that was then taken very seriously by the other side. It's so seemingly insignificant that, again, they don't even tell us what it is, and we don't even know if these guys even remember why their fighting started in the first place, which should indicate to us how senseless this whole thing is. Now, the next line says, so this should be 3 for that blank there. By thee, old Capulet and Montague. If you go ahead and click on thee, it takes you to a link with the pronouns, but thee is going to be you, so spoken by you, Capulet, and Montague. So he's directly calling out the heads of these households, even though they weren't the ones to start this specific quarrel in the streets. They're the ones that started the original conflict, so he's calling them out. And he says, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets. So you have disturbed the quiet of our streets 3 times. If ever you disturb our streets again, so this one's pretty straightforward. So if you ever cause a conflict in our city again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. So if you ever cause any conflict, or anyone from your families cause conflict in these streets again, you are going to get the death penalty. So the Prince is extremely fired up here, and he's serious. He is sick and tired of all the fighting that's happening as a result of this long-held feud between these two families. Now, in this question here, it says, based on Prince Aeschylus's speech, what conclusions can you draw about the fighting between the Capulet and Montague families? Your response needs to be at least 2 complete sentences. So one conclusion we can draw here is the fact that there is such a deep, long-held hatred that all the way down to the servants, right? They even hate each other because of this conflict. Another thing it seems to point out is that even though this hatred is extremely deep, there is also this sense that this is so senseless and pointless. We don't even know why this fighting is happening in the first place. And other citizens are getting involved and potentially dying as a result of this. So this feud, which seemingly started over something very insignificant, is causing a lot of violence and unrest in this city of Verona, Italy. And the prince is at the point where he has just had enough of it. So the speech is just showing us how senseless the fighting is, how deep that family hatred is, and also how this fighting is impacting more than just the men who started this feud in the first place, and impacting more than just their family. It's having this ripple effect in the community that's very toxic. All right, so Obviously, this feud is going to be a driving factor in our story, as you know, as the prologue has pointed out. So keep an eye on the dynamics and keep an eye out for who seems to be fueling this feud. So is it the old men that originally started the fighting in the first place? Is it their kids? Is it outside citizens? So that's going to be an important thing to be on the lookout for as we continue to read. Thanks for watching.